The Avalanche going back-to-back last night. A shootout loss in St. Louis to the Blues. And tonight they face the Anaheim Ducks at Pepsi Center in Denver. Time to take a look at tonight's Ford starting lineup and a last-minute change, Peter, for the Anaheim Ducks in net.
Well, much like Calvin Pickard, who started in Chicago and started the day in Chicago, joined the Avalanche in Ottawa, and then got into the game 3 minutes in. Jason LaBarbera started the day not thinking he was going to be in nets, was called up by the Anaheim Ducks thinking he was going to back up John Gibson. Gibson got hurt in warm-up. There is no backup goaltender right now that I see for Anaheim, and Jason LaBarbera, long-time NHL goaltender, is in nets for Anaheim.
Nathan MacKinnon, Ryan Kesler to face off against each other to begin this game. First of 3 meetings between the teams. They won't hook up again until 2 trips to Anaheim for the Avalanche in March and then again in April.
And Mike, just quickly for Avalanche fans, Ryan Kesler is the center ice, and of course, longtime Vancouver Canuck.
And look at the shove by MacKinnon. Peter, how about that?
Oh yeah,
right off the start. And there was some little bad blood between these teams last year. Everybody remembers opening night for the Avalanche against the Ducks and things that happened there. And there was carryover through the rest of the season. Ducks beginning tonight is a wraparound try by MacKinnon. Boy, that was a quick move by Nathan MacKinnon, but LaBarbera tested early, able to make the save. Centered in front for MacKinnon, tip back, hold it. Shoots, save made by LaBarbera. Rebound comes to the near side. One thing about LaBarbera, Peter, this is not, you mentioned the Calvin Pickard situation. The big difference is Pickard was getting his first start in the first game in the National Hockey League, while LaBarbera's a long-time NHL veteran.
Yeah, he's experienced. He knows how to do this. He's been a backup for a lot of years, so this isn't strange territory for him.
Duchesne at center ice. The Avalanche playing in the blue third jerseys. Ducks with the puck. Then across to the near sideboard. Smacked up by Getzlaf. Angles wide of Varlamov. And the Ducks are called for icing.
Well, for Patrick Roy, last night's game did not start out well. The Avalanche, St. Louis was in control of the game, but did they ever come on? And Patrick Roy was really pleased with the last part of that game against the St. Louis Blues. Tyson Barrie hit the post when it was 2-2. There was all kinds of opportunities for the Avalanche, and they deserved at least that point.
They continue on their penalty killing, including a late one in the third period. They've now killed 20 penalties in a row, 3 for 3 last night, including that key one in the third. Fowler lost the puck, center in front. Here's a chance, but it was blocked and rolls wide of the net. Well, they have a good start to this one with some pressure and some time in the Anaheim zone. Ducks have not been able to get into the Avalanche end at all.
In fact, it's been better than a good start. It's a great start. Everyone's skating, everyone's hitting, and that's, Mike, that's how you get into a game. Get involved physically.
Dumped in, handled to the side of the net by LaBarbera. Tanguay had the puck momentarily, taken away from him. Put back behind the net. Josh Manson pulled it around the board. Back out to center, comes to Corey Perry, leads the NHL with 10 goals. First shot blocked by Gettin, then fires it wide. Scooped up by Everberg. And some good moments last night in the game against the Blues. Gets a shot. And it's snuck through. Dennis Everberg. His first National Hockey League goal. And the Avalanche strike first and lead 1-0.
Well, Mike, he played the first few games for the Avalanche, went down. Mike, apparently just talking to the coaches down in Lake Erie, he worked really hard. He had a couple of goals and assists in 5 games. He gets called back up. Mike, he was really instrumental last night in drawing a penalty, he and Tanguay, that led to a power play goal for the Avalanche. And right here, he gets his first ever NHL goal. And Mike, it's been coming. You could see in camp, he was getting all kinds of chances. He had a great camp for the Avalanche, made the club, and gets his first goal here tonight.
Oh, fantastic start for the Avalanche. Turns into a 1-goal lead on the third shot of the game. And Everberg And the record books for having scored in the National Hockey League.
And Mike, it's a big goal because Anaheim, when they get the first goal, are 8-0 this season.
Smashed in around the boards. We show you the Jeep scoring summary. At 2:18, Dennis Everberg with the goal. Unassisted by the rookie. Back to the point. Held in by the Ducks. Stripped away by Everberg, and he puts the puck down the ice back into the Anaheim zone.
Well, Mike gets a goal, gets a hit, blocks a shot. He's filling up the boxes pretty quickly.
Not a bad first 3 minutes. Pass through the middle. Bounced off of Talbot. One deep by the Ducks. Centering. Goes back to the point. Shot save made by Varlamov. That was a good shot from Clayton Stoner at the left point. Off the boards. Tipped in from center ice by Emerson Eaton. Pass to the side of the net. Ducks with the puck. Pass back by Thompson. Near side shot. Save made by Varlamov. Carried from center by Talbot. Knocked down by Thompson, the former Tampa Bay Lightning player. And we've got to stop and play. I think we're going to have our first penalty of the game.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be on Max Talbot. But let's go back to the goal. And Everberg just heads up and does exactly what you're supposed to do in this situation. Get it on net. You had a guy driving towards the net. The Avalanche had a lot of pressure early in this game by driving people to the net. And he picks up his first NHL goal. But now the Avalanche. Here's the penalty on Talbot. And the Anaheim bench was instantly up. Watch the puck go on the ice. He takes it. They're saying he covered it up. That's basically what they're saying, and then he played the puck. Referee makes the call.
Talbot in the box. Ducks on the power play.
Avalanche penalty.
They're led by Corey Perry with 4 power play goals. Saucer pass back high. Near side for Getzlaf. Back to the blue line. Montanen down low for Getzlaf. Walks right in and nothing there. Varlamov gave him nothing to shoot at. Loose in front. Perry shot. Glove save made by Varlamov. Dangerous area there with Corey Perry. That sharpshooter right in front. But Varlamov robbed him with the leather.
Yeah, Corey Perry, there's just no question. He's one of the best players in the slot area. Like, he's so big. He's 6'3", about 215 pounds. Great balance and great touch. You know, it's that combination that so few players have.
Power play continues for the Ducks. Kessler wins the faceoff. Vatanen pass down the wall for Perry. Sizzles a pass back high over towards Getzlaf. Makes his way to the goal line. Taking his time, down low, wraparound try, shot, and another brilliant save made by Semyon Varlamov. This penalty kill for the Avalanche, 20 kills in a row. Getzlaf reached with the glove, but his arm came past the blue line and offside Ducks.
And again, a lot of very talented guys on the ice, but also a lot of very big guys for Anaheim. This is an Anaheim Duck team that, you know, is bigger than the Avalanche as far as that average size. This team goes about 210, the average player for this club. And they just got a lot of players throughout the lineup that are big.
So far, 4 shots on this power play for the Ducks. As Talbot sits in the penalty box. Delay of game penalty called at 3:58. Avalanche, though, had the lead. They're up 1-0 on a goal by Dennis Everberg. Knocked down, and guess who? Dennis Everberg. Turned and fired it down the ice.
If it's good, the first star was being chosen right now, it would be Dennis Everberg. He's telling everything.
I think he'd get all 3 stars. Shot around the boards. Bouncer back toward the blue line for Cam Fowler. Slides it across. Lindholm. Fowler. Shot. That one glanced off of Varlamov, centered in the slot. Shot pinged off the outside part of the puck. Centered again. Played back to the point. Fowler slides it across. Lindholm back to Fowler. Wine shoots. Got blocked. Lindholm cuts across. He shoots. Deflects wide of the net. 12 seconds left in the penalty. Down low. There's a chance. Poke check beautifully by Varlamov. Smith-Pelly had a chance. He was going to that backhand, but Varlamov, anticipating, was able to poke check it away.
And Mike, how many times over the course of the last couple of years have we seen Varney, when he looks sharp, he is sharp.
6 shots on the power play for the Ducks, make it 21 penalty kills in a row now for Colorado. 6 shots Varlamov faced. So yeah, he does look sharp.
What I meant to say, when he looks sharp early, which he does tonight, Mike, it's usually a good sign for the Avalanche.
His 6th consecutive start for Colorado after he missed 3 games in a row with an injury. O'Reilly shoots, save by LaBarbera, loose puck, jammed to the corner. Get it. Sends it deep into the near side corner. Duchesne shrugs off the check. Moves high in the slot. Makes the handoff to Tyson Barrie. He's in. He shoots. Blocked in front. Bouncing puck. Barrie's got it. Handed off to Duchesne. Muscles way along the end boards. Thompson took it away. Quick pass. Comes through the skates of Silverberg. Angles down the ice, and the Ducks are called for icing.
Well, you have to love the pace. Love the things that have happened for the Avalanche, because you're always, Mike, a little worried or wonder how your club is going to come out, you know, how the leg's going to be for your hockey club. You're watching to see, you know, does everybody look sharp? And I got to tell you right now, the Avalanche, all 4 lines and 6 defensemen have looked very good early.
After the face-off, puck taken by Vatanen. It's the Anaheim team that did not play last night, able to come to Denver following their game against Dallas, as Perry's got a semi-breakaway. He's there, he shoots, big set, rebound, he jammed it in off his body. It's going to count, according to the referee. Of course, there will be a review, I would imagine.
I think he might, did he get this with the rebound with his stick?
I have to look at the replay, Peter. He just wouldn't, his momentum kept going. Johnson couldn't stop him.
Yeah, did he, or did he push it in, Mike? Now this is maybe this angle right here.
The play is under review.
Now
well, his argument's going to be, Peter, right, that he just continued the motion and bounced off of him.
When you see Erik Johnson right there, Mike, yeah, he blew a tire at the blue line. He missed a step.
Peter, can you make any case there for goaltender interference?
Well, yeah, but Mike, is goaltender interference reviewable? I mean, there's a couple things going on right there as far as it certainly looked like Perry didn't make much of an attempt to stop.
Nope.
And what did it hit? Did he guide it in with his hand?
Well, let's listen to the announcement from referee Mike Lego.
Perry just indicated it's good.
Momentum, propel the puck in the net. Good goal.
So it counts. That's his league-leading 11th goal. And Patrick Waugh would like to have a discussion with the referee. He has come off the bench where he was standing and coming near the boards, but he's not getting any of the referee to come over to talk to him.
The referee just said to Patrick, forward momentum of the puck. If the puck was heading in, it hit Perry, but it was rolling in. He did not push it in.
Well, the ruling's been made. As soon as the puck is dropped, that's final. And it's now 1-1 hockey game. Corey Perry, 11 goals this season.
That's a big goal for Anaheim. They have not been scoring goals. The last 4 games, they've played 4 games basically this week. And they're 2-2, but they've only scored 4 goals total in those 4 games.
It shows you also, Peter, how good that Varlamov has been playing in the way that goal had to go in.
Oh, yeah.
In the slot, Barrie waves at it and missed. Bouncer knocked down with a glove by Jan Hejda. Goes up ice for McKinnon. His shot blocked at the Anaheim blue line, and Getzlaf will scoot back behind the net, head up ice, got a little bit of room as he gets to the neutral zone, fires it ahead. Oh man, that goes off the leg of Holden to the corner, and a hit by Holden on Tim Jackman. The Avalanche get possession. Pass comes to Mitchell. He'll throw it back with 11:45 remaining in the first period. Game tied at 1. It's towards the corner by Manson. Rimmed around the boards. Picked up on the fly by Eatham. Skates up the wing in front of the team benches, trying to push it ahead and catch up to it. Holden cuts it off. When it comes to Jackman, circles the boards with the puck. And a quick pass out to center ice by Everberg. Taken back by the Ducks. Shot on goal. Save made by Varlamov. Eatham along the wing. Poke check. And Fowler dashes across through the neutral zone to pick up. Headman pass for Ryan Kessler. Nice move, and then he got stabbed a hit by McLeod. Knocks down Ryan Kessler. We're tied up at 1. The Avalanche and the Ducks in the first period. Let's look at tonight's winning combo, brought to you by Blackjack Pizza.
Well, I think for the Avalanche, you control Getzlaf and Perry. This is a club right now that a lot of guys are you know, a little slow to start the season in Anaheim as far as scoring, but these guys are playing well, Getzlaf and Perry, and a better start. Last night's start for the Avalanche just wasn't what they wanted, and you want to turn that around. I think it has been a good start for the Avalanche here tonight.
Kessler taking the face off. Wins it back to the point.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Fowler.
your attention please for the official score and assistant into the Avalanche goals.
Out to center ice.
Assisted by
Fowler
number 7,
handles the puck. Shoots across the rink. Brought down the far side wing by Smith Pelly. Pelly coming up. Centering try gets blocked. Pucks to the side of the net. And we've got a whistle. And another penalty being called. And it's going against the Avalanche, so power play number 2.
You know, for the Colorado Avalanche, like, they're going to draw penalties a lot of times with their quickness and speed. That's their MO as far as a hockey club. But for the Anaheim Ducks, they draw penalties by getting you just a little bit off, and then they're so big. And you're trying to reach around and grab them, take them down, and it's just not easy.
Well, of course, it's Holden. For Holden. At 9:23.
Just too easy for you, Mike, that one, eh?
Makes me giggle.
Penalty, Mike.
It's going to be on Anaheim. An interference penalty just 16 seconds into the Nick Holden penalty. And that ends the power play opportunity for Anaheim. Getzlaf headed to the penalty box for the Ducks.
And for Max Talbot, Mike, he just draws this penalty with hard work. He kept moving his legs. Watch Talbot, legs moving. And, you know, you can't do that. As easy as that play, there's no harm on that play, but the rule states that you can't move across in front of a player and stop him from going in a straight line.
So it's 4-on-4. This game tied up at 1. 14 shots for the Anaheim Ducks. Peter, only 4 for the Avs. There's a chance for Duchesne on the wraparound. That's twice now that we have seen the Avalanche. First McKinnon very early in the game, and then Duchesne attempt that quick wraparound on LeBarber. Either time successful. That becomes the 5th shot on net for Colorado. Avs last night in the first period outshot 11-2 by the Ducks, by the Blues here tonight. The Ducks outshooting the Avs 14-5, but there's still 9.5 minutes to go in the first period.
But it's a much different feel in this game.
Yes, it is.
There was the one power play where they had a lot of shots at Anaheim, but it's been a very even period.
Johnson dancing back behind the net with the puck. He's on a 3-game assist streak. Picked up a couple of points in last night's game in St. Louis. McKinnon flying down the wing. Puck taken away. Pagliano sends it behind the net. Turned back around and waiting. That's why Boschman. Outlet pass up the near side wall. Silverberg. Long shot missed as it goes off the side of the net. Banged off the boards and scooped up by Landeskog. Trying to get some numbers up the ice. Landeskog over the line, stripped away. Barrie waiting in the neutral zone for the puck. And it'll be a very short 16-second power play now for the Avalanche, their first of the game. By the way, the Avalanche now killed off 22 in a row. Tanguay stick handles his way into the corner, goes it back to the point. Barrie moves in, he shoots, saved by LeBarber, knocked down. And Getzlaf comes out of the box in that short 16-second power play done. Getzlaf stretches for the puck, but he's got to wait for everybody to get onside. That does happen, but the puck is deep in the Avalanche zone, and Colorado has possession. Just one shot on that 16-second sequence for Colorado. 0 for 1 tonight in the power play. Quick pass up by Getzlaf. Steps in, takes the puck, gives to Barrie, wide, fires, and a nice block by Tyson Barrie sends the puck wide of the net. And Barrie jumps up quickly through center ice with a pass across the line for McGinn. Gloves made by LeBarber on Jamie McGinn's shot. Tied up at 1 in the first period in Denver.
Up there in Houston.
Back at the Pepsi Center, 1-1 with the head coach Patrick Roy. A lot's happened here in the first 13 minutes. First goal by Everberg, a questionable goal, I guess you could say, by Corey Perry. What have you seen?
Yes, it is a questionable call there because I think he bumped into Varley. But anyway, there's nothing we can do. One thing I like is at the start of the game, obviously when we score, we kind of slow down. We should have kept going at these guys. Now they have the momentum. But the last couple shifts have been better.
Thanks, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Mike, back to you.
Thanks very much, Kyle. As always, we appreciate Coach Roy talking to us during that break. Duchesne trying to move to the front of the net. Chasing the puck along the near wall. Game tied at 1, 7:20 to go in our first period of play. Smashes around, and a bounce sends the puck past Tyson Barrie at the point. And it finally settles down back in the Colorado zone. Nate Dennis stops behind the net. Dad's looking for an outlet. Barrie being harassed. Finally gets free, makes a pass up ice towards O'Reilly. Feeds it on for Duchesne. His pass was off an Anaheim stick, and LeBarber able to hold on to the puck. Peter, we heard Patrick Roy say, that was a little questionable. Let's see what the league ruled on this.
You see where Erik Johnson right there just fell a little bit, didn't allow him to really get Perry with this stick, and then it said, but the rule, if an attacking player has the puck deflect into the net, Mike, and that's what it was. Deflected into the net, forward motion. He did not, purposely push it in. That was the call. The Avalanche were talking about the fact that he ran into Varlamov before he touched the puck. Yeah.
Icing called on the Avalanche with 6:39 to go. Should mention they have added an assist on the Dennis Everberg goal. Add the assist to John Mitchell. So Mitchell now with 2 assists this season. Semyon Varlamov. Boy, has he been good. Unbeaten his last 6 starts. Anaheim has been winning faceoff. 8-6 advantage in the faceoff in this period. And they came into this game 3rd best in the league on faceoffs, just under 54% success rate.
And the Avalanche, Mike, that's one area that they're still working on. They're sort of in the bottom part of the faceoff rankings.
Luxury has an address. Cooney Lexus invites you to see the full line of Lexus all-weather drive sedans and luxury utility vehicles for 2014. They're available at Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village and Colorado Springs. Another win on the draw for Anaheim. The puck given away to the Avs. Quick snap pass ahead for Cody McLeod. Then in LeBarber off his glove. Pass through center ice. No icing. Varlamov backhands it around. Fired to the side of the Avalanche net. Mitchell first to the puck. Pushes up the wall. Tanguay takes his man. The puck bounced up right at the blue line, kept in by the Ducks. Everberg ties up his man. Pass goes around the boards into the corner. Johnson after to the Avalanche on a one-handed up the boards. Back to the point, slid across. It was tipped by Everberg. What a game he is having. Oh my goodness. And it bounced off Everberg and into the Ducks bench, out of play. Dennis Everberg with his first NHL goal, and he has just been going all period long. During our first period, we'd like to give you our Did You Know question, brought to you by Stevenson Automotive, and here is the question for tonight. Which draft class has produced the highest percentage of NHL players in the last 15 years? Would it be C1 2003, C2 2005, or C3 2008?
And Mike, I won't give the answer, but you will not believe the percentage that this particular class year had as far as players coming into the National Hockey League. It was way higher than I thought, and there's been some impressive classes that come into the league, but this was a very interesting year.
We'll have an answer for you during the third period of play. Ryan Getzlaf, Matt Duchene, and Duchene wins the draw. Snapped around the boards by Eric Johnson. Tangle of players, trying to get a hold of the puck, get some possession. Finally it comes free, and Johnson reaches for the Avalanche and is able to lift the puck out to center ice, but they have stopped the action with 5:13 to go. The Ducks had 14 shots in the first 9.5 minutes of play, but no shots in the last 5 minutes and 26 seconds.
Well, Bruce Boudreau's club so disappointed last year. They were up 3-1 against the LA Kings in the playoffs. And it was a rough, tough playoff series. And LA, obviously, since they won the Stanley Cup, came back in that series and won games 5 and 7 in LA. They're in Anaheim, pardon me. So that was a tough pill to swallow.
You know what's going on with the Kings right now? They're struggling a little bit. They lost tonight to Carolina.
They're not scoring. They have one line that's scoring, and that's absolutely it.
Corey Perry, Dennis Everberg with the goals in this first period. Centered across, and Perry reached but could not pull it in. Sends it across in the Colorado zone. Duchene, nice lead pass for Landeskog. Coming wide. It's a shot. Blocker save made by goaltender Jason LeBarber. O'Reilly sends the puck across for Duchene. Winds it around to the near side. Back towards the point. McKinnon. Blocked and a loose puck, and covered in the crease by Jason LeBarber.
Well, when you look around the National Hockey League at the guys that are putting up the numbers, Corey Perry right there, 15. Sidney Crosby again. Voracek for Philadelphia, he's having a terrific season. Tyler Seguin for Dallas, Malkin. These are all the usual subjects except for Voracek. Voracek really having a great season.
The Avalanche will be in Philadelphia to play the Flyers next Saturday. LeBarber covers the puck again, and we'll have a face-off. Gives us a chance to check in ringside with Kyle Keefe.
Hey, Peter was just talking about these scoring lines. Well, how good are the two top lines for the Anaheim Ducks? They have as many or more than 4 entire teams. The Jets have 20, Hurricanes have 18, Panthers have 14, Sabres have 12 goals. Getzlaf, Perry, Mason combined for 13. Those top two lines have 20 combined. Mike and Pete.
Thank you, Kyle. Well, the Avalanche, Nathan McKinnon, darting back behind the net. Lost the puck. Kessler hands it off, and then out to center ice come the Ducks. Quick wide pass. Goes behind Kessler. Banged off the glass and out by Stewart. Foul. Coming back with less than 4 minutes remaining in the first period. Button trying to find an opening to get over the blue line. Finally able to do so. Brings it around. Blocked by Talbot. Oh, he got hit. That was Jackman. Talbot had his back to him, and Jackman ran after him. And he comes across trying to get a hit on Holden.
Jackman's a big guy. Goes about 225.
Coming back for the puck, Stoner. Former Minnesota Wild defenseman. Spins the puck around. Eatum at it. And Stoner to the side of the net. With pressure by McLeod. Stoner gets it again for the Ducks. Defenseman able to shoot the puck out to center. Backing up, Gettin. Pass across for Tyson Barrie. His pass blocked by Jackman. Barrie got it back. Barrie to center. Barrie gets through, lifts the puck into the Duck zone. 2:45 remaining in the period. Bounced in. Pushed back behind the net. Picked up by the Ducks. Centering pass. Shot! And got blocked. And it's missed on a chance right at the side by Carlson of Anaheim. Avalanche get it back. Pass ahead for Everberg. Shoots away. Lindholm. To the corner. Steal by Mitchell. Centers. Bertangé centered across. And it bounced on Everberg. What a nice looking pass from Alex Tanguay. Eric Johnson handles the puck. 2 minutes left to go in the period. Pass of ice for Hayden. The Avs defenseman drills it to the corner. Landeskog with a hit on Fowler of Anaheim. Got back up. Sends it around the boards for Corey Perry to tip. Sizzles the pass up ice. Bounces out to center. Johnson. Pass for Landeskog. Cross ice for O'Reilly. Shane, Landeskog, and O'Reilly the line out for Colorado. Carried out to center ice. Gets left. From Maroon to Perry. Just to the corner. Avalanche get it back. Bouncer comes free. Stick checked away by Johnson. And up ice for Duchesne. Cutting wide. Looking for a little support. Spins. Centering pass. Cut off by Maroon. And banged out to center ice. We approach the last minute of our first period of play. Shot. Score! Nathan MacKinnon continues on his tear. Oh, is he on fire right now? His 4th goal of the season, 4th in 3 games. And the Avalanche have a last-minute first period goal and take the lead.
Well, it started 4 or 5 games ago, Mike, for Nathan MacKinnon, where he just started to skate and shoot. And I thought last night was a great example of what he needs to do. There were 3 particular shots that he took in that game last night where he had been looking to pass earlier. And when he gets the opportunity, Mike, he has a terrific shot. And that is absolutely perfect. And as you said, it's 4th now in 3 games. And that slump is officially over.
That one banged off the post and then went the right direction for the Avalanche. And now they lead 2-1.
Assisted by number 4, Tyson Barrie.
Again, back to the point. Held in by MacKinnon. 35 seconds left to go in the period.
MacKinnon.
Center ice and into the Colorado zone. 25 seconds to go in the period. Avs lead the game 2-1. Nathan MacKinnon and the 2 assists on the goal, which came at the 19-minute mark. 2 defensemen. Tyson Barrie gets his 7th assist. And Nate Guerin gets his first point of the season.
Mike, the Avalanche have 2 defensemen now with 8 points.
The other being
Eric Johnson.
There's the horn. What a great last minute for the Avalanche. Nathan MacKinnon. Terrific shot to join Dennis Everberg in the goal-scoring category during the first period. The Avalanche have a 2-1 lead.
And Mike, you look at the final shots on goal in the period. 14 for Anaheim Ducks, 11 for the Avalanche. They even things out. Corey Perry, the lone goal scorer for Anaheim, but that was just a high-tempo, quick, fun period to watch.
So at the end of 1 period in Denver, Colorado 2 and Anaheim 1. Watching the Avs on altitude. Don't go anywhere. Next is the Toyota Intermission Report. Avalanche lead it 2-1 over the Anaheim Ducks as we get ready for the second period of play at Pepsi Center in Denver. Always great, isn't it, Peter, to see a player get his first National Hockey League goal. And then we saw that Dennis Everberg in the first period early on.
And Mike, you and I were talking about it during the first period. He has killed penalties for the Avalanche. He had a hit, he blocked a shot. It's so interesting what makes up a hockey team. You got Dennis Everberg, Mike, signed you know, as a free agent, 22 years old, big, strong guy, you know, coming over from Sweden. First year in North America, first year of pro hockey. And the other guy that scored the goal in the first period, Nathan MacKinnon. Of course, #1 pick overall. And different things make up a hockey club. And in that first period, two guys come up with big goals for the Avalanche. And that was a good first period for Colorado.
It certainly was, Peter. Well, let's get an update on the goaltender situation for the Ducks. Kyle Keefe can update us.
All right, so here's the deal, guys. John Gibson was set to start in goal tonight for the Anaheim Ducks. Obviously, he got injured. Jason LaBarbera played Friday and Saturday night in Norfolk for his team. He got on a plane this morning at 7:15. So the fact that he's in net tonight would say that he's playing in back-to-back-to-back games. Dwayne Rollison, their goaltending coach and consultant, has apparently signed a one-day contract, and they're working out the details with the National Hockey League as we speak. He's watching the game right now inside the locker room in full goaltender gear. Guys, he's 45 years old, and the last time he played a hockey game, April 7th, 2012, with Tampa Bay, a game that he won.
Thanks very much, Kyle. Peter, I was wondering how much contract negotiation is there? Does he have him?
No, it's believe me, that's not the situation. What the situation is, the league. You have to put what your roster is in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or thereabouts, and the computer looks at it. Is it salary cap? Is it okay with that? Are all the players eligible? And you can't. And so there's a whole bunch of real stipulations.
Although there is emergency situations for goaltenders that are different than skaters, right?
Absolutely, but they all have to be checked because you can't use an illegal player. It all has to be made sure that it's absolutely correct.
Pass to center ice, Maroon into the Colorado zone. Coming wide, backhands it around, waiting at the near side half boards. Ryan Getzlaf.
So Mike, can't you see a situation where if LaBarbera did go down, and Dwayne Rollison said, you know what? I want a little more cash.
Well, I was trying to make a joke there as to, well, yeah, I'm willing to go, but it's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you. Yeah. Let's double up on that. You know, I'm looking for a little extension here.
That's right. I'll need a 2-year guarantee.
Yeah.
Oh, got a face-off coming up in the center zone. Well, the Avalanche saw this kind of situation earlier themselves this season. And the goaltending, everybody remembers a day in Ottawa in which the morning skate, Semyon Varlamov, realized it might not work for him to be able to play and even dress. And so Calvin Pickard was called up, had to fly that day, and ended up an early game injury. Just 2 minutes and 46 seconds into the game, injury to Reto Berra, that night's starter. And Calvin Pickard had to come in and play the rest of the game. Unfortunately for the Avalanche, stayed healthy. And I did ask Erik Johnson today, Peter, in my interview with him. I said, well, what's the story? He said, well, he grew up, he did play goalie as a kid, but his parents at one point when he was young said, no, you're not going to be a goalie. You're going to skate. But he said if he was asked, he would love to do it.
You weren't smart enough to tell him that he shouldn't be a goalie.
No, that's for sure, Peter. With the puck, handled and carried out towards center ice by Hampus Lindholm. Chopped at it, goes back to the blue line. With it, Erik Johnson out to center. Finds Cleach, backhands it ahead. Early in the second period of play. Avalanche leading 2-1. And got a whistle, and we're going to have a penalty.
Yeah, Boschman, like on that play. Now, he did not mean to do this, but he clipped Marc-Andre Cleach.
Anaheim penalty number 23, 2 in my high stick.
Puck's going in the corner. And again, doing what this line does so well. This line for the Avalanche is Cleach, Talbot, McLeod. They get in a hurry. They're right on top of you, and so sometimes little plays like that are going to work. Not much fun for Cleach, but it is a little part of the game that they do well.
The Avs score on the power play. Lucky winner will get Avalanche tickets to an upcoming game courtesy of American Lifestyle Furniture. Go to afwonline.com/altitude. Duchesne to the point for Tanguay. He shoots, blocked. Back up high on the boards for Tanguay, and his shot gets blocked by Getzlaf, but it has a long rebound. And Varlamov, nice job of protecting the puck, then feeding it behind the net. And Getzlaf, he's got a long reach as Barry trying to get around him. Look at a little slash to the stick. Getzlaf steals the puck, turns, fires it out to center, and a chance for a breakaway. Here's the opportunity. Cogliano back in, and a brilliant save made by Varlamov.
Like here, what an interesting play. Cogliano heads out of the zone. Now the Avalanche coming back. Right there, they actually get their stick on it. And that slowed it down enough for Cogliano to be able to get it on the quick breakaway. Tanguay was able to touch it enough. If he doesn't, it probably slides too quickly into the goaltender.
That was the first shot for Anaheim in 14 minutes of play. He tried to open up the pads of goaltender Semyon Varlamov and then slip it in 5-hole, but Varlamov used the stick well and made a nice save. McKinnon trying to fight off a couple of checks, did so, makes the pass to the corner. Landeskog with possession. Handoff on the far side wall for McKinnon. Slid across for Nick Holden. Back towards O'Reilly, and he made a smart move to get in. Pass across, bounced on McKinnon, comes wide of the net. Handed off, O'Reilly to the point for Holden. O'Reilly, cross-ice pass. Then returned, and then intercepted and cleared by Stoner for the Ducks. Nick Holden will carry out to center ice. Long pass at the line. Shot across, angle to the near corner. And time running out on the Bocheman penalty. He comes out of the box. The Ducks have killed the penalty. No shots for the Avalanche during that 2-minute power play. So they're 0 for 2 tonight. First one was only 16 seconds long. Shot. Gets blocked and poked up the boards and out to center by Hayda. Slapped back the other way by Lindholm. Scoop behind the net. Stewart for the Avalanche. Hayda gets to the puck. Banks it up off the boards and out. And a race into the Duck zone for the possession. And a touch by the Ducks to Josh Manson. And the play is ruled icing on the edge. Let's take a look at who is in the groove. Presented by Groove Subaru.
Well, there's no question. This is the power play and the penalty killing for the Colorado Avalanche. The penalty killing has just been good all season long. And Semyon Varlamov with 70 consecutive short-handed saves. Just absolutely remarkable. But the Avalanche now, Mike, you see that the first part of the season, it was not good, the power play. It has been terrific of late.
Face off in the Avalanche zone. Win by Getzlaf, but it scoots past the point man. Dan Fowler racing back to the puck and headed up ice. Fowler finds an opening, pass across for Corey Perry. Punches the puck ahead. Stewart finds Landeskog. The Avalanche on the move. They transition to offense. The red line dumped in. Again, waiting. Makes the pass, picked off by Getzlaf. Got Maroon to his right. Launched the puck that direction towards the corner. Maroon gets to it first. Centers in the slot. Shot. Score! And it is a 2-2 hockey game. Hampus Lindholm with his first goal of the season. But that was some good hustle from Patrick Maroon to get to that puck first to set it up.
And Mike, this Lindholm, he's just a young guy. I mean, he's, you know, last year, Mike, for the Anaheim Ducks, he had 6 goals, 24 assists, 30 points, but he was a plus 29. He was a plus 8 coming into this game tonight. And Mike, he is just, I've been watching him in the first period just from down here. He is so smooth. He's not one of the bigger defensemen for Anaheim, but he is really smart, really smooth, and as we saw, knows when to jump into the play.
So the game tied up at 2. And look at Lindholm go. He was the first to get to that puck. Played it back behind the net. The Avalanche zone. Stripped away by McKinnon. We'll show you our scoring summary. Patrick Maroon and Ryan Getzlaf with the assist. That's Getzlaf's second assist of the game. And Getzlaff with 2 more points. He's now at 14 points this season. 1 behind Corey Perry. We're now at 15 after he scored in the first period. Kessler shoots the puck deep into the Colorado zone. Gannon spins away from the forechecker. And Getzlaff drives. Center in front. Shot saved. Rebound. And Kessler couldn't get to it. McGinn. And again, we're all over him. Eatum back to the line. Pass gets tipped down to center. Shot from the red line around the boards by Stoner. Slowed up by Varlamov, but picked up by Cogliano. Back to the point. Stoner's shot wide of the net. Tapped into the corner. Cogliano swings it behind the net. Silverberg starts back behind the Avs cage. Comes out in front. He turns and shoots. Save. Rebound. And scooped up by the Ducks. Behind the net, Cogliano trying to get away from Cleach. Pass up the wing, and it is still in possession of the Ducks. Dump to the corner. Anaheim with it in the Avalanche zone. Dragged in the corner for Cogliano.
Anaheim's starting to take over this game a little bit. The Avs need to shift this momentum.
Fowler walks in. He digs back in and scores. And Fowler used a screen, if you will, like in basketball, as they cut across the crease and backhands it in to score his first goal. So, Peter, 2 defensemen in this period for Anaheim have scored their first goals of the season.
And Cam Fowler is one of the really good young defensemen in the National Hockey League. He's just 22 years old, my former first-round pick in 2010. And he sort of fell to the Ducks. I was at that draft. And they thought that Cam Fowler was definitely going to be a top 5 pick. And then at 12, there was Cam Fowler. So the Anaheim Ducks, I mean, they grabbed him, and he's just a really good defenseman. He's big, 6'1", he's 210 pounds. He has 7 assists before tonight's game. And he moves the puck so quickly. You know, again, if there's a trademark of the defenseman for the Anaheim Ducks, they pass the puck really well.
So that's 2 goals in just 1:44 seconds. 2 defensemen scoring for the Ducks. And Peter, you could feel it on that shift, couldn't you?
Oh yeah. And the Avalanche, Mike, we're now, what, 8 minutes into it. The Avalanche have yet to have a shot on goal. They need to get their offense cranked up again.
Alex Tanguay coming back for the puck. And scored the first goal of the game. At its 2:18 mark. And they got a last-minute goal in the first period to take the lead going into this period. Gets that, boom, the shot! Oh, man! He just walked in and wound up. And a nice blocker save made by Varlamov. Mitchell for the Avs, chips the puck in. Coming back to get it. Clayton Stoner. Pass up the middle. Batted ahead by Perry. Johnson takes it back for the Avalanche. Slides the pass across. Hayden reaches the neutral zone, gives it back to Johnson. Keeps the puck ahead, and Johnson's coming after it. Snapped around, cut off by O'Reilly at the half boards. Pass back to the blue line. Shot by Duchesne, goes wide. Rammed around, O'Reilly behind the Ducks net. On him, Lindholm pushed out towards center. Carried up ice by Perry. Sends it across for Maroon. Squeezed off the puck. Perry slides it around for Getzlaff. To Maroon in the corner. Getzlaff reaches in. Slides it back for Lindholm. Big shot. And it is stopped by Varlamov. And then Maroon gets into it a little bit with Jan Hayda of the Avalanche. Couple of defensemen scoring for the Ducks, who have taken the lead in the second. These lucky fans were upgraded from the Rams Truck fan zone to lower bowl seats, courtesy of Ram Trucks. Purchase tickets in Section 362 for your chance to win. Upgrade to the official truck of your Colorado Avalanche.
Well, then, Mike, I think for the Avalanche right now, they're being outshot 8-0 here in the second period. They know they got to get the offense going. You want to put the same kind of pressure on the Anaheim Ducks that you put on early in that first period when you really were taking it to Anaheim.
Face-off in the Colorado zone. Avs do win the face-off. Rolled around the wall, and Everberg puts the puck ahead, blocked at the blue line, jammed back into the corner by Eaton. And Brad Stewart trying to clear the zone. Pokes at it. Gets it back, and Stewart going to get to the red line with the puck. Stolen away. Carried in by Eatham. Pass across for Kessler. Swings at it and misses. Kessler gets it again. Good chance blocked, and Everberg of the Avalanche clears it away. 22 shots for the Ducks, 11 for the Avalanche. Still looking for that first shot in the second period. Lindholm's pass. Kessler comes wide around Gettin. What a move, but then couldn't quite get a shot off. McGinley stripped to the puck. Pass in the high slot. Cogliano behind him. Shot goes wide of the net. The Avalanche move the puck to center. McKinnon shoots it in wide of the net. Slapped that by Botman. Gives the puck a kick along the end boards. Ducks chase it down. The Avalanche, McKinnon having a strong game. Out with McGinn and Iginla. Barry wheels it around the boards. McKinnon, who has scored earlier in this game, goes down to the ice. Ducks take away the puck. Carried out towards center. Looked ahead by Anaheim into the Colorado zone. Silverberg overskates the puck, and a pass up ice for McGinn. Sailed past him, and Colorado ruled of the icing.
Well, there's so much happening in Vancouver last year, and it ended up like they're just a disastrous finish to the season. But one of the things that was supposed to happen at the trade deadline, when Ryan Kessler was supposed to get traded, and everybody in Anaheim thought that the deal had been completed, it fell through. And they had cleared cap space and done a couple of things, and it was very disappointing that they didn't get Kessler.
Would have loved to have had him, right, Peter, for that playoff run.
Oh, what a difference he would have made against a team like the Los Angeles Kings.
Ducks with the puck. Pass is tipped out to center ice. Anaheim leading the game 3-2. Eisenberry taking his time. He's going to go somewhere with it and makes a pass that angles into the Duck zone. Please, great hustle. Centered it across. Talbot turns the puck around the boards. Manson hands it off. A nice little battle behind the net. Stoner ends up with the puck. Pass up the wing. Good effort here for this fourth line for the Avalanche, trying to get a little something going. McLeod, Talbot, and Cleach. Good pressure in the Duck zone. Continue to keep it inside. Puck was played with a high stick. And then we got a little something happening. Cody McLeod in the middle of things, of course. Matt Bolesky for the Ducks also involved. Looks like the linesmen have things calmed down to a degree, and we won't have any fisticuffs. Ducks lead 3-2 in the second. Time for Lexus on the ice.
Well, Mike, Nathan McKinnon, 4 goals in the last 3 games for the Avalanche, and you can see what he's doing. I mean, he's shooting the puck, Mike. He's coming across great shots. These have been some wonderful goals. But one of the nicest ones was the tip on his backhand. You know, and so, you know, he's showing what he can do, Mike, when he just gets, I mean, again, the key to his game throughout his entire career will always be skating.
It's certainly a dangerous weapon, at least other good things. Landeskog squeezed into the boards on a hit by Lindholm. And Maroon to center ice. Dumps it to the corner. And I'm up 3-2, 7 minutes to go. Avs played 13 minutes in this period without a shot on net. Pass up ice for Landeskog. Turned over. Grabbed by Eatham. Coming wide. Curled to the boards. Pass back to the point. Slid across for Fowler. He's got one of the 2 goals in this period for the Ducks. Fact is the go-ahead goal. Kept in by Anaheim. Down the boards for Kessler. Pass in front. Got tipped. Played back by Smith-Pelly. Rolled around the wall. Eatham gave a chase. Crashed into the corner along with Landeskog. And the Avalanche snap to Shane to center ice. His pass. Far for Landeskog, who's headed off the bench. Pass up the middle. Picked up by Kessler. His shot gets blocked. Pelly, then a backhand drive by Edom. Wraparound try in the crease. After it was stopped. Back towards the point. Kept in by Stoner. Smith Pelly fights off the check. Hooked it back for Kessler to take. Turns it up the wall. Stoner turns and shoots, but a glove save. Made by Varlamov. It's 3-2 Anaheim in the second in Denver.
Mike, when you're playing the Anaheim Ducks, you know things are going to get tough. There's going to be a lot of plays along the boards. The Anaheim Ducks lead the National Hockey League in penalty minutes per game with 19. And Mike, that's the kind of game that it has been here tonight. Both these clubs, right now the Avalanche, 27 hits already in this hockey game. And it was a continuation of game one last year. Everyone, of course, remembers that game for the Colorado Avalanche.
3-2 lead for the Ducks. We're in the second period. Avs had a 2-1 advantage after one. Ducks a couple of goals. A couple of defensemen. Knocked down with a high stick by Ducks defenseman Sami Vatanen.
How many times, Mike, do you think this was shown around the country and here in Colorado? There's Lovejoy with McKinnon, a little pushing and shoving at the end of the game. Patrick not unhappy, and then all of a sudden something happened that couldn't happen now because the glass has been bolted down. Corey Perry had the water bottle. It was just a rather interesting end to the first game for Patrick Roy, coach of the Colorado Avalanche. If I had been down here, Mike, that wouldn't have happened. I would have straightened things out.
Oh, really?
I would have been hiding down here. Where did McNabb go?
Where would you be hiding?
Right down on the floor. What do you mean where would I be hiding? What is it? Any foxhole when you're in trouble?
And Coach Waugh said afterwards, you know what? It was wanted that opportunity to show his players that he was there for their support. He was there with the whole. He was part of the team, and boy, that really rallied the club early on, didn't it? Helped lead them to that 12-1, a record in the early going of the season. Big part of it. Out to center ice. Ducks change it up. Avs get the puck back. Pass across for Iginla. And it's broken up momentarily. Shot goes off of the leg of Vatanen. Behind the Avalanche net. Iginla, then McKinnon. After the puck, McKinnon chases the puck down. Pass across for Johnson, winds and shoots. Save made by LeBarber. That's the first shot of the period for Colorado. And there's going to be a penalty.
It's going to be on Nathan McKinnon.
Colorado number 29, minor penalty interference.
Interference is the penalty.
Here's a look at the penalty right here. He really hadn't touched the puck. He gets in front of him. But here's the shot by Erik Johnson. First shot of the period for the Avalanche. But Mike, every penalty kill is important, but this one right now with 4:25 remaining in the second period, down by 1, this is huge.
The Ducks 0 for 2. Their first power play chance, they had 6 shots. Their second power play chance was only 16 seconds long. But the Avalanche have killed off 22 in a row. And a steal and a breakaway chance for Talbot. And finally got a shot away. He was harassed by Kessler and didn't really get the shot that he wanted. Quick pass up ice.
I don't think he expected Kessler to be coming in the picture. I think he thought he was home free, Mike. It was Kessler flying.
Really broke up the chance there for Talbot. In the corner. With the puck, Corey Perry. Joined by Maroon. And 3 Avalanche players arrive. And the puck worked free. Kessler winds. His pass. Tanguay, nice job getting the stick in the lane. Rammed around to the near side half boards for Getzlaf. Pass behind for Perry. Back high. Fowler to Perry. Wide. Fires. No rebound. He cradled that puck well. Varlamov, no rebound.
Well, such a big part of the penalty kill has been Max Talbot. And right here, is it rolling just a little bit? He's coming in, and Kessler, that's just great hustle by Kessler. I mean, he is a big man, but he is fast. And he just gets it on the stick so Talbot can't get the original shot on net.
What makes that a good play, Peter, for Kessler? No penalty was taken.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he one-handed it. I mean, he really is strong on the puck as he comes through. He lifted it just enough where Talbot couldn't get the shot.
Nice win on the draw by O'Reilly. And the puck sails out of play. Another face-off coming up in the Av zone. Get 40% off at Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom. Plus, all the appliances purchased this week could be free. Visit the Appliance Factory for details today. Another draw. O'Reilly won the last face-off. William Karlsson tossed out of the face-off circle, and again O'Reilly on the win. Bouncing puck, tipped back towards the point for Fowler. Pass top of the circle for Karlsson. Snaps the pass for Lindholm. One-timer Fowler. That found the glass up high. And in fact, apparently it's gone out of play. I don't know where that puck went. I heard the glass. Heard the puck hitting the glass. And then lost sight of it.
What comes through, Mike? Oh, there it goes. It deflected off the Anaheim player up quickly into the screen or the mesh.
Peter, if it went off the Anaheim player, why was the face-off still in the Av zone?
Like that's the rule now is that they don't take it outside the zone.
Put in by Lindholm. Karlsson. Handoff for Lindholm. Slides to Trump just inside the line. Shot, save, rebound. Bounced. Shot. Oh! What a shot by Lindholm. Duchesne trying to get to the puck. Tipped back in by the Ducks. Power play is done, so the Avalanche deal the penalty. But they just continue to do great. 2 shots on that one for the Ducks. Cogliano, who can just flat out slide, was after the puck. Johnson went for a hit. Cogliano gets back up, makes the pass, shot, dribbles in front of the net after stopped by Varlamov. Landeskog lifts the puck out to center ice. Scooped up by McKinnon. Couldn't hold on to the puck. Pushed back the other way. Silverberg's shot misses the net. 1:40 to go in the period. Landeskog finds Eric Johnson. Long pass at center ice for Ryan O'Reilly. Coming wide. Pass up off the boards for Johnson, but it dribbled away from him. Tatum chasing the puck. Hayda gives it back to Johnson. Plays it off the glass and out. Ginla coming hard. Puck turned back into the corner. Stoner up the far wing for Jackman. Chips the puck out to center ice. Pass across for McGinn. Centered in front for Ginla. Back into the corner and Ginla centers off the leg. McGinn battles along the end board with Stoner. And then Ginla ties up with Kessler. Ginla goes down to the ice. Kessler takes away the puck. Makes a pass up ice for Emerson Eater. Lobs it in. Heads to the bench for a change. O'Reilly comes up with the puck. Pass up ice for McGinn. Hand off to Everberg. Skates into the Duck zone. And Fowler strips him of the puck. Drops in the corner. Up the boards. Out to center ice. Knocked down by Patrick Maroon. Shoots it around the boards into the Avalanche zone. Cut off. Down low, and a tip sends the puck wide of the net. Maroon put it in the corner for Perry. Barron, nice play to chip it away. Up the boards, gets left. 5 seconds left to go in the period. Hand off to Everberg. 2 seconds, last shot. Oh! And Goaltender Jason LaBarber had to stretch a little bit to make the save. But goals, Peter, from a couple of young defensemen have given the Ducks the lead.
That was a very efficient period for the Anaheim Ducks. They skated well. They were in the perfect position all period long. Anytime you're getting even strength goals from your defense, it means that they're breaking into the play. There's good pressure down low, and they got a couple of them in that period. So it was a very strong period for the Anaheim Ducks. Now the Avalanche have to come out in third and find a way to get back into it.
Ducks outshot the Avs 12-2 in the period, scored a couple of goals. They now lead 3-2 after 2. Stay tuned for the Subaru intermission report. Ducks lead the Avalanche by a goal as we get ready to start our third period of play at Pepsi Center in Denver. And Peter, certainly one of the interesting stories tonight, the goaltending situation for the Anaheim Ducks. Not very busy during that second period. Jason LaBarber only faced 2 shots, but what would happen if he gets hurt in this game?
Well, Dwayne Rollison, who is the goaltending consultant / coach, obviously, for the Anaheim Ducks, would come in, and then they would clear all of that up. And but if he was to come in, amazingly, he would be the 3rd oldest goaltender in the history of the National Hockey League to play in the game. Maurice Roberts back in 1951, but Johnny Bower was, an institution with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Didn't get his start until well into his 30s. And Mike, how about the irony of this? Dwayne Rollison was the backup goaltender for the Minnesota Wild the night of Game 7 when Patrick Roy played his last game in the National Hockey League.
There's the coach of the Avalanche, Patrick Roy. Yep, go back to 2003, Game 7 against the Minnesota Wild. Colorado scores in the third period. You score with Subway. Visit your local Subway restaurant tomorrow for any regular 6-inch sub for just $3 after 3.
Well, Francois Beauchemin right there, Mike, number 23 for the Anaheim Ducks. Now he's gone and come back, but he was one of the last guys from that 07 Stanley Cup for the Anaheim Ducks. Harry Getzlaf, also members of that team.
3-2 in favor of the Ducks. Peter, one thing the Avs have certainly done well in this game, they have 32 hits. They're only 3 behind their season high this year. They've gotten physical with the big Anaheim team tonight.
Well, Mike, there's been lots of try. It's been a real good game by the Ducks. They're coming off a disappointing stretch. They were 2-2, yes, but they weren't scoring. They weren't playing the kind of game that they think that they should be playing. So they came out ready for this game tonight.
Save, rebound. On that diving chance by Duchesne. Back to the near side wall. Avs coming out strong off the chest of the goaltender LaBarber. Towns go off the boards. We got a sense the Avalanche coming out here in the third period. Throw some pucks at the net. See what happens.
Yeah, we also got a little bit of a line change. We've got Nathan MacKinnon on the right side with Duchesne in the middle and Landeskog on the left.
Get some weapons out there for sure. Fowler for the Ducks, and Everberg put a hit, but Fowler stayed up on his skates, now skating up ice. Pass across, gets left, able to scoop the puck in. First to it, Maroon centers all the way up the high slot, kept in by the Ducks' Cam Fowler. Maroon, the puck to Mitchell from the Colorado Avalanche. This Ducks team, well, they lost opening night, then won 7 in a row, and right now they're in a stretch in which they've gone back and forth for 5 games, wins and losses, and if that keeps up, their last game was a win, so they keep up that pace, see what happens.
Well, the Avalanche came out hard in the first period. They're coming out hard here in the third period, and oh my goodness, Duchesne is going down. You're falling down trying to hit a puck that's rolling, Mike, and just was from the angle here for the bench for the Avalanche. The net was wide open, but you could see what Duchesne was going down and just couldn't find the puck.
Icing called on the Avs. There is Matt Duchesne, 3 goals, 9 points this season for Colorado.
And Mike, 9 points, as you just mentioned, 12 games, but I think he's played better than that. I think he's been a little snake bit to this point. with some of the things he's done. 'Cause he's played a lot of very good games.
Yeah, most games, Peter, he's just a threat when he has the puck, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Making things happen. Right at center ice. Handled by Josh Manson. And the puck is tipped out of play. Oh, there's Josh Manson. His father played in the National Hockey League, didn't he, Peter?
He sure did. And was he a mean son of a gun? And Manson just in his second game, he's another one of those guys that for Anaheim that they find big bodies. And you know, he's 6'3", 223. You know, getting his first chance, but he played real well against Dallas. They kept him in the lineup, and he's played well here tonight.
Eaton winds and shoots. Glove save made by Varlamov.
That's one of those ones, Mike, that Varlamov knows is going to be trouble. Because as the puck is coming down the ice, it's rolling. So you have to be prepared for a complete knuckleball. Puck is coming down, and it just, you see, Mike, how it's just sort of spinning as it comes off the stick? You really have to concentrate, because it can go absolutely anywhere.
Draw in the Av zone. Ducks get it after the face-off, but then it bounces for Talbot to take. Sends it across the neutral zone. Smashed back the other way by Anaheim. No icing. Barry arrives at the puck first. Moves it off the boards. Cut off, though, by the Ducks. Centering pass intercepted by Barry. Gets it back towards the point. Shot by Stoner. And Varlamov with a lot of traffic in front of him. Made a good save. Needs him back up to the point. Shot by Stoner misses. Hard off the corner boards. And the puck did come into the neutral zone, then brought back in offside. McLeod and Jackman separated. And then Talbot, a little something with Clayton Stoner.
Well, but I had a great angle of this save by Varlamov. And Mike, he goes down. When he goes down, that 5-hole disappears. You know, he's got his pads set up perfectly. As you look at the top save percentage guys in the National Hockey League, Semyon Varlamov, a lot of people are saying, well, his record so far this season for the Avalanche hasn't been necessarily outstanding, 2-2-4, but he's played well.
Hasn't lost in 6 consecutive regulation starts, Peter. Shot wide of the net. Blocked into the corner. Pushed ahead to the Avalanche zone. Johnson gets there first, finds Hayda. His pass comes through the middle. Landeskog sends the puck back into the Colorado end. Hayda gets the pass through the middle for Gabe Landeskog. Comes down the slot. Broken up by Cogliano. Goes to Kessler. Avs changing up to defensive pair as Kessler shoots in on Varlamov. And the rebound tossed out to center. Button coming wide down the wing. Trying to cut in front. Pass. Broken up by Stewart. And the Avalanche hustle out to center. Everberg gets in over the line, but the puck comes free. Fowler from behind the net. 16 minutes to go in the third. Ducks lead by a goal. Bounce out to center. And Anaheim called for icing. Why should you hug an angler? Proceeds from fishing and hunting licenses go towards conserving Colorado's natural beauty. So give them a hug, say thanks. Go to huganangler.com to learn more.
You know, Mike, just talking about things that just don't change. They were showing the scoreboard between periods, different games, and it just came up. I know you love this, so that's why I'm telling you. And they showed Detroit lost tonight.
Yes.
And the fans just went crazy.
Of course.
Cheering and yelling, and they love to see Detroit.
Still,
they're in a
all
different
these years.
they're in a different conference
Doesn't
now.
matter. That's still the rivalry, Peter. Back from the point. Hayden's shot gets blocked. Loose puck between the circles, and good work by Everberg. What a game he has had. Ducks do get the puck back. Shot ahead by Patrick Maroon. Johnson finds Hayden in the corner. Mitchell slips around Corey Perry. And Getzlaf got the puck back for the Ducks. Stick right on the blue line. Pass comes through. Silverberg onside. Shot blocked by Hayden. Puck work behind the net. Centering try by Carlson blocked. O'Reilly moved the puck to center. Hammered back in. Center ice by Stoner. Avalanche get it. Hayden Sends it ahead for McGinn. Drops it into the Duck zone. Centering try. Stewart wide. Shoots. And it deflects wide of the net. Shot in front by McGinn. Gets tipped away. Good effort here on this shift by the Avalanche. Penalty called outside the zone. The referee Mike Lego making the call.
Colorado penalty number 92 is for hooking.
Wow, how about this? Ryan O'Reilly, who had one penalty called on him all last year, has just been called for a second penalty of the season.
No, he won the Lady Byng. He's now officially out of the running for
That's
the Lady
it.
Byng now. Here's a blast by Stewart. And, you know, Mike, on nights when things are going well, you know, that bounces in off you.
O'Reilly in the penalty box. Power play number 4. For Anaheim, they're 0 for 3, 8 shots and those power play chances. But the Avs continue their outstanding penalty killing. 23 penalty kills in a row.
Avalanche penalty number 90, Ryan O'Reilly.
Split down the middle. Puck bounced away. Holden didn't clear it out initially, but Talbot picks it up. He's got a 2-on-1 developing. Poke checked away though. Button took away the puck from Talbot. Looked back for Getzlaf. Steered his direction by the goaltender Jason LeBarber. 30 seconds eaten up so far on the O'Reilly penalty. Pass through the middle. Carried in onside by Anaheim. The Avalanche, boy, they just put that. They give you no room to get set up to do anything.
No, Mike, they're really in sync. You know, sometimes you'll see penalty killing units and one guy is out of position, someone else tries to cover up. They're always in the right spot.
Wound around the boards. The Avalanche are right there. Tanguay takes away the puck. Trying to clear, but it hits Perry in the stick. It's free for Maroon. Gives to Getzlaf. Back down the wall. And the puck comes free for Maroon in the corner. The Avs keep him on the outside. Stretching Getzlaf somehow held the puck and behind the back pass for Perry. Tanguay watching him. Side of the net for Kessler. Into the slot, but the Avs again with a stick in the passing lane. It's just so impressive. Over the line, onside, and the glove save made by Varlamov on Kessler.
Again, Mike, any shots. They did have that very good power play early, but they had 6 shots and there were some good opportunities. They hit the crossbar once in one play. But a lot of these shots are coming from the outside a long way out. And another thing that the Avs are doing well, Mike, they're clearing people out in front of the net. And that's not easy against this hockey club.
Ducks had the puck after the faceoff. And again, deflection on a pass by the Avalanche. Their ability to get in that passing lane on these penalty kills is amazing. Fowler to the red line. And there it is, broken up at the line. And caused the play to be offside. Just 10 seconds left in the O'Reilly penalty, and the Ducks have done nothing on this power play.
And Mike, it's one of those situations that the power play, if it's working, it scores a goal. And people can see it and understand, appreciate how well it's going. On the penalty kill, there's just a lot of frustrating plays, but sometimes you don't appreciate just how excellent something is. And the penalty killing for the Avalanche right now is just that. It's excellent.
Just 10 seconds to go in the O'Reilly penalty. Bouncing puck. Avalanche have got it. Again, it'll clear it, and that's going to do it. Another penalty kill. Make it 24 in a row for Colorado. O'Reilly's out of the box. Puck ends up deep in the Colorado end. Just one shot on that last power play chance for Anaheim. O'Reilly coming in over the line. Drop that shot. Deflected away by LeBarber. McGinley going to come out of the corner with the puck. Lindholm took it away, moves it up the boards, comes out to center ice. Silverberg one-on-one with Stewart. Cuts in, and Stewart prevented him from getting around with possession. Pumped back in by McGinn into the Anaheim zone. 12 minutes to go in the third period. Blocked at the line by Holden. Flip the other direction. McKinnon sprints after the puck. He's got it. Drew it on net. LeBarber makes the save. And we'll return with more third period play from Denver, where Anaheim leads 3-2. Let's answer the Stevenson Automotive Did You Know question. We asked you in the first period which draft class has produced the highest percentage of NHL players in the last 15 years. The answer, 2008.
Mike, I'm amazed because there's over 200 players drafted in any 1 year. And that's Stamkos and Doughty, that was their year. But 48.8%, basically half the players drafted have played a game in the National Hockey League.
After the face-off, Avs win the draw, but a poke check by Perry sends the puck to center. Cross-ice pass to Hayden. Johnson pass through the middle. And it's called icing on Colorado.
11:32 in this hockey game, and Mike, what we've seen with the Avalanche, one of the things that happens when they're down by a goal to get inside that 10-minute mark, the defensemen start jumping up, and then if the defensemen will be doing that, will be Johnson, Barry, Holden on the far side if he can't. Stewart can do it, so you want to add that little extra pressure if you can.
They drop the puck, but they'll have to redo the face-off. Getzlaf against Mitchell. Win by the Ducks on the draw. Stoner fakes the shot, winds it around the boards. Stopped with the skate by Maroon. Hands it off, back to the point for Stoner. His shot deflects. Avalanche have got it. They transition offense. Tanguay, Mitchell, and Everberg. The line out for Colorado. Getzlaf ends up with the puck. Ryan Getzlaf. Couple of assists in this game. Avs get it back. Eric Johnson through the middle, deflected. Bocheman shield Tanguay from the puck. Pass up ice. Smith-Pelly tipped ahead. Dropped in the corner. Smith-Pelly centered in the slot. Comes all the way up the middle. It's a race. And the Avs turn away as Francois Bocheman comes back for the puck. Out to center. Stewart plays it off the boards. Bocheman around the boards for Smith-Pelly. Back into the round. Coming down the wall though. Barry. Chipped away. Lands out at the red line. Kessler tangles up with Landeskog. Tipped back towards the Avalanche. Long pass up ice for McKinnon. Tagged as he came over the line. The puck freed up, bouncing back into the Avalanche end. Finally into the Avs bench. Everybody ducking. Get out of the way of that puck. We'll be back halfway through the third. Ducks up by 1. It's on Tuesday night, the Avalanche home against the Vancouver Canucks here at Pepsi Center. We'll start our coverage at 6:30. On altitude. And the Avalanche, well, they liked the way the last game against the Canucks went, didn't they, Peter?
Absolutely, a 7-3 win. There were some great moments in that hockey game. But Vancouver, Mike, like any team, that has, they're a good club. They're playing much better this year. They'll be ready for this one.
And they had a game the previous night, just like the Avalanche here tonight. They were in St. Louis. And then they came and the Avalanche took it to them, winning 7-3. Avs last night in St. Louis lost in a shootout. Avs get the puck after the faceoff. Cleared out to center. Blocked along the near side wing. And freed up by Anaheim. Sending the puck back into the Colorado zone. Stewart first to the puck. Rolls to the corner. Leans into Cogliano. Cogliano gets the loose puck. Centered in front, and it's blocked. Gets it back out to center ice. Nice play by Iginla. McGinn shoots it across, punched ahead by Barry. It comes free, or it is handled by Carlson. Out to center, bouncing puck. Avalanche have got it. Coming in over the line, Landeskog coming wide. Skates to the corner with the puck. Behind the net for Duchesne. Back towards Landeskog. Hayden fired off the body of Duchesne. Dropped in the corner. Ducks have it. Trying to get out of the zone. And it is iced by Anaheim.
Well, like every hockey player always remembers their first goal. But for Dennis Everberg, it's been a terrific night. Apart from scoring that goal, just about had another opportunity. But Mike, that's what got him in the lineup for that play right there at the beginning of training camp and all through camp. Mike, he played the body. And he was on every single shift in scrimmage for the Avalanche in their games, whatever the drill was. He was finishing off his checks, and he was physical.
Duchesne wins the face-off cleanly back to Hayda. Down the boards for Duchesne. Duchesne, McKinnon, and Landeskog. New line combination put together. Centered out in front. Blocked by LeBarber. Played up but not out. As keep it in. This line making something happen. Back towards the point. Hayda winds, shoots. Blocked. And Jackman one-hands the puck ahead. Then he's charging after it. So is Hayda for Colorado. Pushed along the end boards by Hayda. Up the wall. Out to center ice. Steal made by Jackman. Turns and shoots the puck back in. Varlamov handles it for the Avalanche. Gives to Johnson. Backhands it across. Hayda bounces it. And Lindholm. Shoots the puck in. High and wide of Varlamov. Gets left. Dropped along the boards. Avalanche get to it. Mitchell. Checked by Maroon, spins away, trying to clear. Perry kept it alive in the Avalanche zone for the Ducks. Pushed to the side of the net for Corey Perry to take. Out in front, oh, he had a man there. Maroon was tipped away, cut off behind the net by Johnson. Up the wall, gets in play by Beauchemin, behind the net for Perry. Shot back around, and out to center ice. Both teams, Peter, have that line that looks dangerous when they get out there. This Getzlaf line and the Duchesne line for the Avalanche look dangerous in the third period as well.
Absolutely, but like times, you know, these times slipping away. The Avalanche, you know, they need a couple shifts. Obviously, they need a goal, but they need a couple of shifts to really get some momentum. Anaheim, like I said, this has been an effective game that they have played to this point.
Smith Pelly with the puck. Sends it towards Kessler. Hands it off behind the net. Gillespie save made by Varlamov. And O'Reilly's pass cut off in the middle. Held in. Fallon wide. Fires. And it deflects wide. Out at center ice. McGinn. Pass goes across. Holden reaches the red line. Going to head off the bench when he got that pass. Pass tipped in by Carlson of Anaheim. Barry rubbed up against the boards by Carlson. Avalanche had that Duchesne line out, and they are flying. Duchesne over the line. Duchesne shoots wide of the net. Barry keeps it alive. Landeskog poke check, but Barry's got it. Cross ice for McKinnon. Bounced away from him, though. Up to center ice. 2-on-1 for the Ducks. 2-on-1. Pass. Silverberg. Shot. Big save made by Varlamov. And Silverberg is hurt. Back out at center ice. Beauchemin. Pass back.
Did he go in hard?
Yeah, McKinnon.
Holy cow.
McKinnon was right on him as he tried to take that shot. And you see Jakob Silverberg stung by going into the end boards.
McKinnon's on him. Like just trying to make the defensive play, but when you lose an edge that close to the boards, Mike, it is never, ever a good thing.
Timeout has been called.
As silly as it sounds, Mike, in a play like this, the fact that it happened this deep into the period is actually a good thing. But if it's the start of the period, you see he sort of lost an edge. If it's the start of the period, Silverberg, who has not had a goal this year, and he's got some good talent. He was sort of the main player in the Bobby Ryan trade from Ottawa. And then he sort of got the knee of McKinnon. But it's
2 minutes, 18 seconds into the first period. Phil Grayson and Mark Ryan, that is his walk-up shot of the game. The first ever NHL. Dennis Everberg.
Well, for McKinnon, It has been an interesting night. Starts right off with Kessler. He has been physical. He's been tough. He's been flying. He's been a center iceman. He's been a right winger. He's taken a penalty. And, of course, he's had that big goal for the Colorado Avalanche. I think what they're talking about right now is Silfverberg was on the ice when there was an icing, Mike.
But he's able to stay on the bench.
He's able to stay on the bench, yeah.
The Ducks had used their timeout. Mitchell wins the faceoff, gets it to Tanguay in the slot. Mitchell cross ice, Hayda, line shoots, blocked. Race for the puck in the corner. Avalanche come up with it. Chopped away by Kessler. Couldn't get it by Hayda. It does dribble out to center. Backing up Aaron Johnson. Pass through the middle for Everberg. Broken up by the Ducks. And the puck lands back in the Avalanche zone. Fights for Mitchell. Slides the puck in. The puck comes straight in the corner. Given away. Mitchell's shot gets blocked. A turnover by the Ducks, and Mitchell had a chance. Stewart makes the pass for Tyson Barrie, picking up speed through the middle, coming over the line. Offside, Colorado. Kind of rolled on his stick a little bit just as he got to the blue line, caused the play to be offside. 5 minutes left in the third. Ducks lead. Great start for the Avalanche. Just 2:18 in, and Everberg. Tough angle, but it got by Jason LeBarber for his first ever goal. Then, a little discussion, but ruled to be a goal by Corey Perry, tied it up at 1. And then, into the third period, second period, couple of goals from the defensemen Lindstrom and Fowler, and the Ducks take the lead by a score of 3-2. They've held that here into the third period. Out shooting the Avs 32-17. The two top lines out right now, head to head. Duchesne's line against Getzlaf's line. Perry shoots, and Varlamov forced to make the save with the glove and hold on to the puck.
Now, the shots in this hockey game, the Avalanche started off pretty well in the first period, but in the second and third, Mike, it has been a struggle. I mean, and again, there's no lack of effort on the Avalanche. Let me tell you, they're coming off the ice. I mean, they have worked hard on these shifts, but 6 shots is a testament to how well this Anaheim club is they shut down the neutral zone. And there is no speed through the middle of the ice. Everything is just sort of, you sort of grind it up the side boards.
Carried ahead by O'Reilly, drops it into the corner, rolls back behind the net. Cloud, Talbot, and O'Reilly. The line for the Avalanche. Hayda and Johnson on defense. Puck held up against the boards. Number of players are there. Trying to get possession. 4 minutes remaining. Neither team giving an inch along the boards, giving up the puck. Finally it comes free. Worked loose back towards the point. Intercepted and lifted out to center. Stopped by Hayda at the blue line. Picked up by McLeod. He skates in. Kessler took him off the puck and carried up ice by Bolesky. Backhands it in towards Varlamov. He'll have it bounce off his body. Picked up by Holden. Rolls deep into the Anaheim zone. And Coach Waz pulled his goaltender with 3:20 to go. Barrie moving in. Centered out in front. Cut off by Landeskog. Avs have got the extra skater out. Pass into the low slot. Backhand save made by LaBarbera. But we got a whistle and a penalty on the Ducks.
And they're looking to see if Nathan MacKinnon is cut.
So it'll be a 2-man skating advantage for the Avalanche.
And number 23, minor penalty, high stick.
Francois Beauchemin, his second high-sticking penalty of the game.
Yeah, what Patrick's doing right now, Mike, is he's putting Varlamov back in, and he's told his players that the next group is going out at the last minute. If the Avalanche don't score in this part of the power play, the last minute of the power play, they're going to put that other line out there, and they're going to pull the goalie.
2 minutes for Height.
So High sticking on Boachman. Peter pointed out Varlamov back in net, but power play for the Avalanche. Barry up high in the slot, down to the far side for Duchesne. Cross ice back for Barry. Cross ice for Duchesne. And the center, he does, picked off and flicked down the ice by the Ducks. Buried up ice by Tanguay. He gives to Barry. Skates in, Varlamov on his way to the bench. Two-man skating advantage for the Avalanche. 6 on 4. Pass for Barry. Right at the blue line for Tanguay. Shot to traffic, gets blocked, picked up, and the Ducks are going to go for the empty net, and they miss. It deflected off at Tanguay. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty. Puck picked up by Eric Johnson. Crowd on its feet here at Pepsi Center. Johnson down the middle. Picked off. Wrapped around the boards and out by Anaheim. 35 seconds left in the penalty. Holden for the Avs. Lead pass to center for McKinnon. He gains the line with speed. He cuts in. Poke checked away, but held in by the Avalanche. O'Reilly down the boards. Back behind the net for Landeskog. To the corner for McKinnon. Back up the wall. In the slot. Holden. One-timer Johnson had it blocked. Played off the boards. And out by Kessler. That's going to do it on the penalty. Boachman comes out of the box. There's still 1:05 to go. With Varlamov still on the bench. Dumped in by McKinnon. Slams around the glass. And it bounces into the center zone. Back into the Avalanche end. Coming back to get it. Tyson Barry. Pushes it up ice. Blocked at center ice. Picked up though. Brought in by Barry. Coming wide in the slot. Perry gave it away. Shot. Gets blocked by Perry. Here's a chance. And Duchesne missed it. Into the corner. It's loose. Banged up the board. Landeskog steals it back for the Avalanche. 30 seconds to go. Here's a chance. Centered in the slot. Broken up. Stoner to the near side. Shot, but not out of the zone. Avalanche crash in the corner. Oh boy, there was a hit. And there's going to be a penalty.
It'll be on Landeskog
for his hit on Corey Perry.
Well, Johnson had come down the boards. Perry was deep in the corner, right where he should be to try to get the puck out. And Johnson was coming down on a real aggressive play, pinch down the wall, down the boards, pardon me. And
Colorado penalty number 92, 2 minutes for charging.
And Landeskog is coming in the other side. You can see the puck come around the boards. Right there. And Perry comes in. Here comes Johnson following in. So Perry was, he was in a tough spot right there. Landeskog gets 2 for charging on the play.
And the face-off, because of the penalty, goes down into the Avalanche zone, who are going to call timeout. The penalty called at 19:40 for charging. Ducks lead by a goal with 20 seconds remaining.
I mean, if you're the Anaheim Ducks, Mike, now the whole situation now is keep the puck in front of you.
Right.
And we'll see if Kessler or Getzlaf want to pull the puck back to a point. And if they do, you're not going to put the puck on net. You're going to put it back in the corner. Everything is going to be about keeping the puck in front of the 5 guys that are on the ice for Anaheim. And for the Avalanche, you're going to shoot people out of the zone. Look at this, Michael. They pulled the goalie.
How about that, Peter?
Yeah, we haven't seen that very often, have you?
No, you don't. Wow, what a great move by Patrick Roy. You got to go for it. You got to love it. Pull the goaltender. win that face-off. You got to get the even strength because you got a man in the penalty box. So the key, though, obviously, is trying to win that face-off and to call on John Mitchell to win the draw against Ryan Kesler.
And Michael, you know what else you can do? You can dump it down the ice real fast. The referee was overlooking at the time. But what you can do, Mike, is you can ice the puck, and it will not be icing. And you can just, you can throw McKinnon, because he is so fast, you just throw him as fast as you can down the ice. McKinnon's, he is a player on the far side.
Right. You can see that he's out there trying to get away from anybody for Anaheim, right, Peter?
Yeah,
just go.
He's going. The minute this puck is dropped, he's gone.
Kesler against Mitchell again for the faceoff. The puck dumped in the corner. Shot around by Johnson, and there's the play. It's blocked at the line and just chopped away. And cleared out to center. Perry looking at that empty net. Deflected. And it's scooped up. Perry with the puck. Back to the point. Shot. Missed the net. And there's the horn to signal the end of the game. And the Anaheim Ducks with a unusual goaltending situation. Their two regular goaltenders hurt. And LaBarbera has to fly in this morning. And he gets the win for the Ducks as they beat the Avalanche 3-2 in a hard-fought game tonight.
Yeah, the Avalanche season high 41 hits in the game. The Anaheim, Mike, they don't have the most points in the Western Conference because they're not a good hockey club. They moved to 10 wins, now 3 losses, and 3-2 in the last 5 games. And they get some offense, and they get enough goaltending. They didn't have a whole lot of shots, but the effort was there. Anaheim just played a very good hockey game.
Here's our final score. The Anaheim Ducks 3, the Colorado Avalanche 2. Please join us again Tuesday night. Avalanche continue on this homestand. They'll host the Vancouver Canucks. We'll begin things at 6:30. Let's get you to the studio.